You're checking your portfolio on a Sunday morning, coffee in hand, sitting on the edge of the bed. It's 8:47 a.m., and the light is coming through the window at an angle that makes the apartment look like it belongs to someone else. The number hits you differently this time. Not because it's higher, it's been climbing for years, and you've trained yourself not to celebrate the climb anymore. It hits differently because you notice something in the background that's been running for so long you stopped hearing it as a sound. The passive income crossed your salary this year. Not the total, not combined income, just the yearly returns alone. Dividends from index funds, distributions from real estate funds, capital gains added up to more than your job pays. More than 40, 50, sometimes 60 hours a week earned. Your passive income hit 6 figures this year. Your job hit 5. And you're sitting there with a cup of coffee that costs $6, and you realize something that changes how you think about every single day going forward. You didn't have to work last week, or the week before, or the week before that. The machine kept going without you. The money arrived anyway. The deposits kept landing. The returns kept compounding. That's the moment the gap opens. Not the gap between poor and rich. Everyone talks about that one. Everyone can see that one. The gap between rich and wealthy. The one nobody talks about. The one that doesn't show up in parking lots or on Instagram. The one that nobody can see but you. And it's not what you thought it was. For a decade, you thought rich meant the car, the house, the watch that tells time but costs more than most people's first car. Rich was visible. Rich was the guy in the parking lot work that everyone noticed. Rich was the life that looked like something on television. The apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows. The restaurant reservations that required calling someone who remembered your name. The weekends away that you didn't have to explain to anyone. You wanted that, not in a desperate way, just as a marker, as proof that you'd actually done something, that the decade of effort meant something that other people could see. So you worked, not recklessly, strategically. You took the job that paid more instead of the one you liked. You skipped vacations to take on consulting projects. You declined the happy hours and the weekend trips because the opportunity cost didn't make sense. You ran the calculation every time. You did the math in your head 1,000 times, and every single time the numbers said, keep working. The gap to the goal is still wide. The timeline is still long. One more year, one more project, one more salary bump. By 32, you had the car. A nice one, not ostentatious, but nice enough that people noticed. The kind of car that people glance at in the parking lot and make a note of. They remember it. You got the apartment, not floor-to-ceiling windows, but floor-to-ceiling ambition. A neighborhood where people recognized the effort it took to be there. Where your parents felt proud when they visited. Where your college friends felt something when they saw where you'd landed. And you expected to feel something. That was a thing nobody tells you. You expected that reaching the checkpoint would feel like arrival, like you could finally rest, like the anxiety that's been living in your chest since you were 23 would finally leave. It didn't feel like rest. It felt like a photograph of the thing you wanted. You had the props but not the feeling. The car was sitting in the driveway and you were still running, still calculating, still at 5 a.m. in the dark thinking about the next project, the next income stream, the next rung on a ladder that never got shorter. That's rich. When you have the things that prove you made it, when it's visible, when the life looks the way you imagined from the outside. It's the moment where people stop asking if you'll make it and start asking what's next. But being rich is also fragile in a way you don't understand until you've been rich for a few years. Because rich depends on you. Rich stops the minute you stop working. Rich is the income that stops when you do. Rich is the car payment and the apartment lease and the life that's got your name on every line of the monthly statement. You carry that knowledge around like a weight, the knowledge that it's all conditional, all dependent on you showing up, all contingent on the next paycheck landing. You could lose it all tomorrow if you get sick, if you got fired, if the company decided to restructure and your role disappeared, if the market shifted and your industry contracted, if any number of things happened that were completely outside your control. And you do lose it. Not all of it, but pieces of it. You get injured and miss 3 months of work, and suddenly the math gets tight. A project ends unexpectedly, and the income dries up faster than you expected. You get passed over for the promotion you were counting on. You realize that the apartment is too expensive, and the car payment is too high, and the entire structure you built is predicated on continuous growth, on never stopping, on the income never pausing, on being needed, on staying valuable. That's the trap of rich. Rich is the illusion of arrival that still requires you to run. Rich is the finish line that keeps moving. Wealth is different. Wealth is when the money stops being about you and starts being about itself. Wealth is when you crossed a threshold that most people don't even know exists. Wealth is invisible. Wealth is the thing that nobody can see because it doesn't look like anything. You don't know exactly when it happened. There wasn't a ceremony, no moment where someone called and told you you'd crossed a line, no notification or milestone. It just happened over 10 years of doing the same thing over and over, maxing out retirement accounts, investing the surplus, not touching it, no matter how many good reasons you had to touch it, not buying the upgraded apartment, not leasing the new car, not taking the vacation, just feeding the machine every month, every quarter, every year. By year 7, you stopped looking at the balance. It had become abstract. You just kept feeding it automatically like a utility bill. $3,000 a month, sometimes $4,000 if there was extra. Rain or shine, market up or market down. You didn't stop. Then one day, you run the calculation that you'd been avoiding because you knew it would change something. If you stopped contributing right now, stopped entirely, never put another dollar in, never took another consulting gig, never worked an extra hour, the thing would still grow, just from compound returns, just from money making money. The returns alone would be enough. It would reach a threshold in 10 years, maybe less, that would give you options you never had before. You do the math twice because you're not sure you did it right the first time. That changes the math. That changes everything. Because suddenly you're not thinking about the next project or the next salary bump or the next promotion. You're not positioning yourself for the bigger title or the corner office. You're not calculating your worth in job titles and business cards anymore. You're thinking about years. You're thinking about the point where the machine becomes self-sufficient, where it doesn't need your permission to exist anymore, where it just runs, where the money lands whether you worked or not. That's when the rich becomes wealth. Wealth is invisible. Nobody at work knows about the portfolio. The income doesn't show up on your business cards or job title. It's quiet. It's the exact opposite of the car in the parking lot. It doesn't get noticed because it doesn't look like anything. Wealth is driving the same car you drove 5 years ago because the timeline matters more than anything else now. Upgrading would be a step backwards. Wealth is knowing that you could stop tomorrow and nothing would change. The machine would still provide, would still grow. The income would still arrive. The compounding would still happen. That's not rich. That's not even close to rich. Rich needs you to show up. Rich needs your permission. Rich stops when you stop. Wealth doesn't. So, here's what happens when you understand the difference. You realize you spent 10 years being rich instead of building wealth. You had the visibility, but not the freedom. You had the things that drove something to other people, but you didn't have the thing that would prove something to yourself. And you could have had both, if you'd understood this earlier, if someone had explained the gap instead of letting you assume it was just more of the same. More money, more stuff, more proof. But you didn't understand. So you got the apartment and the car and the life that looked right, and it was empty. And you were tired. Then something shifted. You stopped trying to look rich and started building wealth. You moved to a cheaper apartment, you kept the car, you took the salary that made sense instead of the job that looked impressive, you invested the margin, you let people assume you hadn't figured it out yet. You let them think you were falling behind. And the whole time, the machine was getting bigger. The passive income was climbing, the portfolio was compounding, and nobody could see it because it didn't look like anything. It was just numbers in an app, just a number that got slightly bigger every month. Just the invisible work of money doing what money does when you stop asking it to impress people. By year 10, the math flipped. The portfolio crossed the point where yearly returns matched your salary. Not profit, just earnings. Passive income alone, no more consulting gigs, no more extra hours, matched 40 hours a week at your job. You felt the weight change physically. The stone in your chest got smaller. A decade of low-level anxiety finally backed off. Because now you had options that didn't depend on someone else's decision to keep you employed. Now you had a buffer that couldn't be taken away by a single bad year, or a single bad decision, or a single restructuring that catches you by surprise. Now you had what rich was supposed to feel like, but never actually did. Wealth feels like breathing normally for the first time in a decade. It doesn't feel like a celebration. It doesn't feel like an arrival. It doesn't feel like the champagne moment you imagined when you were 22 and broke and certain that money would fix everything. It feels like relief, like the ending of a specific kind of fear. The fear that one thing going wrong means everything goes sideways. The fear that you're one bad month away from losing it all. That's the difference. Rich is about what other people see. Wealth is about what you know. Rich depends on someone else's decision. Wealth doesn't. Rich is the purchase. Wealth is the peace. And the distance between them is 10 years of invisible choices, 10 years of letting people think you hadn't figured it out yet, 10 years of knowing something nobody around you understood, 10 years of building something that nobody could see. The thing about discovering the difference is that you can't unknow it. Once you understand that passive income is the actual path forward, every choice becomes filtered through that lens. You see your friends upgrading their apartments, and you do the math of what that lease will have cost them compounded over 10 years. You see people buying new cars, and you calculate what that payment could have purchased in index funds. Because you've seen what the other path looks like. You felt what it feels like when the machine is big enough that it doesn't need you anymore. When the money keeps arriving, whether you worked or not. You found the difference between rich and wealthy. It's not about the amount. It's about the moment when your money no longer needs your permission to exist. It's about passive income crossing active income. When that happens, everything changes internally, except nothing looks different from the outside. You're driving the same car, living in the same apartment, but you've become something most people never become. That's the whole thing.